I want the police to stop brutalising us.
Are you okay? Oh my God, she's screaming! Are you okay?
It's alright, I did it.
Look at this dragging people, guys.
I want them to allow us our right to peaceful protest, and I want them to stop assaulting us, and I want people to know what they're doing. So,
if we hadn't some of these people, because I'm not prepared to stand at a gate and be thrown about, if we hadn't some of these people, Quadrilla will just walk straight in, and it'd just go on.
The vast majority of protest activity has been highly disruptive, and it tends to involve lock-ons, blocking of the road, blocking of the site, but it is not violent. And I think that is generally very much the intention of the protesters, not to offer violence, not to be threatening, but to cause disruption to Quadrilla's activities.
some days you can go down there and it's relatively peaceful. Other days you can go down there and you are literally thrown about and assaulted all day long. Some days are bits of both. You not only don't know from one day to the next what type of policing or treatment you're going to get, you honestly don't know from 1 minute to the next.
If there's an element of randomness in who is arrested, it can be off-putting for people to turn up because you simply don't know if you're going to be arrested on a particular day for doing something that was allowed yesterday. And so you could appeal to an officer and say, hang on a minute, we were doing this yesterday. It doesn't mean that you won't be arrested on the second day or the third day.
Say a fellow protector on Friday who stood his ground, then did start moving along after the 5 steps had been given, and he was arrested.
But our approach, right from the word go, has been that we want to have the very low-key policing operation. We want to engage, we want to negotiate, we want to facilitate, and wherever possible, we want to allow people that right to protest.
Miranda, another girl, she's a local councillor. She's been pulled, pushed, torn all the ligaments in her knee, all because she does not want fracking in this area. We have got a right, a human right to protest that something which is industrial is going to ruin the area.
We've come here today to hand in a letter organised by Netpol that had been signed by a lot of people who have been annoyed and upset about the policing at Preston New Road fracking site. We feel that the policing has been excessive, we feel the policing has been aggressive, it has been unnecessarily aggressive towards people who are peacefully protesting. Our rights to protest have been trampled on, basically, taken away.
The police are not allowing us our legal right to protest. They will not allow us to slow walk lorries. 3 weeks ago, when we tried to slow walk the lorry, the police threw me off my feet and knocked me unconscious. I feel safer doing this. That sounds really weird, doesn't it? But nobody's going to throw me off my feet and knock me out today.
Of this, there have been incidents where we've regrettably had to use more force than simple negotiation. A significant number of people have been arrested since we started the operation in January, and currently that figure's 134 people. Now, I should stress the vast majority of arrests are for very low-level matters around obstruction of the highway, but it has been necessary to make those arrests, which are a source of regret to me.
I'm here most days, and every day the police are using force on the protesters, and it seems to be a different justification every time.
Forcefully against the van, struggling, saying, why are you doing this? I'm not even obstructing, you know, I don't obstruct the vehicles. But yeah, this time he had got a baton out on me.
And because they couldn't move me by using pressure points, kicking me in the back of the legs, lifting me up in the air, slamming me head against the car, they resorted to getting the CS gas out and putting it in my face, which they brought to CO. and they said if you don't release in the next after this warning, then we're going to use it, so I did release. And then I just felt a whack in the back, and that's when the coppers whipped out the truncheon, after which I've dropped. As I've dropped, he smashed the car window. But there was no warning, no answer to leave and nothing, he just whacked me in the back on the tailbone.
The police are responsible as well for putting people off, because it is a frightening situation when you're faced by an aggressive police force, you know what I mean, what's trying to stop peaceful protest.
They are just throwing the protesters around like animals. They're retired people who feel so much against it have been knocked to the floor and ended up at hospital. One of the local councillors stood just watching what was going on, and he was knocked off his feet.
Because I've actually got a heart complaint anyway myself. But there was a police surge and asking people to go backwards, which I complied with, and before I knew it, I'd been pushed to the ground.
Well, I came down just to stand on this side of the road and block the lorries and what have you on the opposite side, just to see what was happening really, because I'd seen a lot of violence from the police and one thing and another. So I spent the first day and witnessed sort of things that I've never seen in my life, to be perfectly honest, from the police brutality, women being knocked into the hedge over the road. My wife herself was actually punched in the stomach and held in the prickles, the brambles over the road there. Police have basically not facilitated any of our rights to protest at this site at all. People just get pushed and shoved out of the way. We've tried to slow walk, we've tried other methods, other peaceful methods, and it's not worked, so I felt like I was compelled to do something that actually would take back a little bit of control and actually allow myself to protest peacefully.
Well, I think it confuses a lot of people, particularly people that maybe haven't been before or seen the development of how policing has changed, because it's inconsistent, and it's inconsistent for those officers as well, because they're not often the same ones on they're on a rotation, and I don't know at what point they come back onto the site, so they often don't know what they're dealing with, who they're dealing with, and how to deal with them.
Certainly local people, if they think they're going to turn up and there's a risk of arrest, it might put them off from going, because so effectively I don't think the police would ever admit there's strategies involved, but it can certainly feel like that for activists, that if you don't know what you're doing, it can put you off from going.
Oh, okay, well I don't know.
There are things we could be doing better, then I am happy to learn those lessons.
I find it extremely confusing, and I think it's resulting in arrests, and I think it's resulting in escalation of the problems at this site.
Police take no! Police take no! Police take no!